If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Predictive programming. I've been talking about it forever on this channel. I've showed you when things happen, how they show you this stuff in advance in movies and television. Things we're told are fiction. This is a way to desensitize people, to prepare them for what is going to happen. And it's also a form of what's known as sigil magic, because these people are all Satanists. They're all part of the occult. They show you in advance what they're going to do. This is part of how they enhance the power of their craft, the power of their spell. Yes, I know for people who are new to this, it sounds insane, but these people are Satanists. They practice black magic. They believe in it clearly. There's many people that do. Even Christians should believe it because it's real. The Bible warns about this and forbids people from doing it. These people are all part of the occult, obviously. Now, this is one of the funniest predictive programming videos that I've seen from a movie that I didn't know about. A subscriber and a friend sent this over to me, and I had to cover it. It is called 5 Feet Apart. It's based on a novel, okay, about somebody with people with cystic fibrosis. And I mean, if this isn't predictive programming about preparing you to be able to live 6 feet apart from people, but you can still fall in love, you could still live happily ever after. If this isn't predictive programming, I don't know what is.
Human touch. We need that touch from the one we love almost as much as we need air to breathe. I never understood that until I couldn't have it. 5 feet apart. Are you in?
I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Will Newman.
6 feet apart at all times. You both know the rules.
My lung function is down to 35% now. People with cystic fibrosis aren't supposed to get within 6 feet because we could end up catching each other's bacteria.
Nothing's gonna save our lives, Stella. We're breathing borrowed air.
We're gonna do our treatments together, so that way I know you're actually doing them.
Baby, you left your mark.
Always looking for ways to spend more time with me, aren't you, Stella? Beautiful. Brave. Wish I could touch you.
Stay away.
6 feet at all times. I got it.
It's almost laughable. That came out 1 year before this. 1 year, this movie. Somebody just happened to go, yeah, wouldn't it be great if we released this movie about staying 6 feet apart, and we'll have this couple and they'll fall in love. The plot being one of the characters has cystic fibrosis, actively uses social media to cope with the illness and tries to live a normal life. She meets another patient who is at the hospital for a medication trial, an attempt to get rid of the bacterial infection he has in his lungs. This all sounds kind of familiar, all right? And it's called 5 Feet Apart, and it's about, as you even heard the nurse, 6 feet apart, you know the rules. Where have we heard that before? Pretty interesting, right? We always talk about the predictive programming. We talk about how they've been telling us forever that there's going to be a pandemic and an outbreak, because they have, right? The long list of ridiculous movies, right, that we've heard about year after year, month after month, from pandemic to outbreak to contagion, the flu, infection, virus. These are all movies that came out that have the same exact plot. And don't forget about the zombie movies, right? That the zombies have, these people are turning into zombies because there's been this outbreak and they need to get the vax to get rid of the disease inside the zombies, right? World War Z, the movie with Brad Pitt. So this is the stuff that's going on. And I mean, if you look and you see and read between the lines, you can see, and you should be able to see, that they're showing you this stuff in advance. They're preparing you. Your brain desensitizes from it when it sees this stuff. It's preparing you for it, right? Otherwise, people will be like, wait, what? What is an outbreak? An outbreak of what? How many times have we had to hear about the Spanish flu and all these other outbreaks they keep bringing up over and over and over, right? So that people go, okay, it's normal. We knew it was going to happen. It's happened. Otherwise, people would react in a completely different way. They would call bull crap on it. But since they've seen it so many times in the movies, they've been told that this is going to be a reality, and then it becomes a reality. All right? All the nonsense going on with this, the distancing of humans, getting closer to technology, distancing from other human beings is preparing them for transhumanism. And one of the other things that we've heard, which is hilarious, is the fact that nobody's going to be able to shake hands anymore. Not that any of us should really care, because it's a Masonic tradition anyway. The whole point of the handshake really is for these Masons to tell each other apart, because the Masons are taught different handshakes. So when they shake someone's hand, only a Mason would be able to tell what degree Freemason they are, because they've been taught all this stuff. Now, you've obviously seen video after video from me and other people who cover this stuff showing you, bizarre looking handshakes that these people do. And that's them showing their power and their degrees in Freemasonry to each other. That's how they figure out who is who. Now it's a lot easier, I'm sure, than it was back in the day. So maybe they don't need handshakes anymore. But I find it kind of funny that they're going to flat out eliminate the handshake. So maybe it'll make it easier for us to see who the Freemasons are, because they're probably still going to, because they're so programmed into doing the handshake, they're probably still going to do it.
In particular, you said you're not sure we should be shaking hands anymore at all. I like a fist bump as much as the next guy, but are you really suggesting that maybe handshakes should be a thing of the past in our culture?
You know, in a perfect world, when you're dealing with the potential for this terrible ordeal that we're going through right now, knowing that hands and hands to face do it, that would be something that I think would hopefully be attainable.
Right? But this is how they get people prepared for a world with social distancing being a permanent, normal reality. Right? Think about all the things that they've done and how they prepare people. Remember when 9/11 happened, what it was like to fly before that. Think about in the 60s, people would fly on the planes with cigarettes, right? And then think of 9/11, and then all of a sudden, all the new rules get put in the NSA, and how much different it is. Some of you probably weren't around for that, but in the 90s, it's pretty easy to get in and out of the airport. The security thing wasn't even an issue. Then suddenly the security thing becomes a huge issue. And we're literally taking our laptops out, our belts off, our shoes off, and now, in 20 years later, look how much more with the outbreak. Spit in a cup, be quarantined for 14 hours, stand 6 feet apart. This is really all out of the 1984 playbook. Don't shake hands. Don't have human contact with each other. That's another predictive programming thing that was in that trailer, right? Oh, can you kiss? Can we breathe near each other? We might take each other's oxygen, right? And it sounds stupid. It sounds crazy, but the zombies out there who have been programmed, who don't think on a conscious level of their own and let the government and Big Brother and the television think for them, they don't realize they're almost activating something in their brain, which, they've buried subconsciously through seeing these films, and then the media activates. Oh yeah, right. Oh, there's an outbreak, right? Oh, it's kind of like Contagion and Outbreak, the movie, right? They told us this was going to happen. So they don't go, oh, there's something suspicious about it. Oh, this is really weird, because they feel like they've already almost lived it. And now as you get more conditioned, which is exactly what they're doing, they're conditioning us more and more to get used to this. They're going, okay, we'll give you your beach. You can go to the beach on Memorial Day. However, other places we're going to open sports. You can go watch a baseball game, but you got to stay 6 feet apart. You can fly on a plane, but there's nobody in the middle seat. Right? This is just going to become normal. In a year from now, nobody's going to blink and go, oh, this social distancing crap. People are just going to be like, yeah, it's just the way it is. And 10 years from now, if we're even here, I can't even imagine if we are, what the world is going to look like and how bad it's going to just reek of these Satanists, controlling everything and manipulating everything worse than they already do now. But just imagine then. So I wanted to show you this. This is just more predictive programming. It's more nonsense going on in our world. The handshaking thing, right? They've been talking about it for a couple months now, and no one's going to touch each other. Human contact, they don't want. They want you and machine to become one. You and your technology to become the new reality, right? Everybody work from home. Everybody Skype with each other. Everybody do conference calls together on the computer, on the device, on the iPad, on the iPhone. This is preparing people for that as well. So we are really living in a pretty insane time to be alive. But remember, I know a lot of you get depressed about this stuff. People write on my wall all the time. Because look, there's nothing for me to be, I don't see any positivity in this other than the fact that, we're drawing closer to our King returning. Other than that, I mean, it is hard to live in this time, but just remember, God put all of us here at this specific time for a reason, because he knew we could handle it. He knew we could handle it. And we're here now and we have to endure. And that's what we can do. Endure, be strong and move forward and be happy that God put us here at this time because he needs us to be here at this time and be warriors. And that's what we're all trying to be. So I want to thank everyone for listening to today's show. Again, I want to thank people on the website. They're sharing all this kind of stuff with me. If you're not a subscriber, please check it out. Consider becoming a subscriber. It's $2.99 a month. The forum alone is worth it. And again, I've said it a million times, but it's really important for you to share your stuff, your views on things, your videos, your YouTube channel, stuff going on in your town. It's good to interact with other people who are like-minded. It's hard to do it here on YouTube. You can only comment under someone's comment. Half the time, people don't even realize they leave links. It goes into spam. And people are like, why'd you delete my link? It's like, I don't even know. I have 50 million spam box messages. It just goes in there. I don't check spam because YouTube doesn't want you sharing links to other websites and things like that unless they can vet it. So it's a good reason to join. So check it out if you haven't. I want to thank the Patrons out there again and thank everyone for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.